about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity.
Good evening, all you Bitcoiners from location somewhere in the UK. It is Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, back with another video in my series. As always, Bitcoin, the UK Bitcoin Master live show. This is either going to work or it's going to be a total disaster. Why? Because I'm doing it off of my mobile phone internet signal. So if we get through tonight's show unscathed, I'll be absolutely amazed. So pound that like button for a strong Bitcoin hand and a mobile phone signal to go live on my UK Bitcoin Master live show. Welcome everyone to the show. As always, please like this, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so you get notified. All the normal paraphernalia we talk about. Do tweet this out. It will get more eyeballs on the show. Thank you in advance for tweeting that out. Sorry for the graininess of the camera. I've got a 4K camera here and I don't quite know what's going on. It's very grainy for some reason. It may be the lighting. As you can see, we're in a caravan. We call it in the UK. In America, you call it a trailer. We're on holiday. It's a pretty luxurious one, I have to say, but nevertheless, we're having a staycation holiday because our holiday to Spain got cancelled. So there we are. A quick look at the chat. Proud Zionist Jew, Adam Meister, welcome to you. Dan Just Learned Bitcoin's in the house. Yorkshire Bitcoiner has pounded, tweeted and done all the stuff, but he can't stay with us, so he's going to watch it on catch up. Zaza's in the house. Who else have I seen? My lovely wife Elaine is with us. Andy BTC, good to have you back. I don't know whether you're still with us there. If you want to shout out, if you want to let me know that you're in the chat, excuse me, just type in UK Bitcoin Master. It will highlight it on my second monitor, bright red, and I'll give you a shout out for sure. Phil Volman's in the house. Pastor Phil, welcome to you. Phil, great as always to have you with us. So, preliminaries done. There you go. The disclaimer has been there long enough. There we go. See, it didn't work. Hang on. And it still didn't work. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's see if the technology is going to work or whether it's going to let me down. Hold on, people. Let me get rid of the disclaimer manually. There we go. Let's pop up my website. There you go. Doing it manually. My Stream Deck's letting me down. Do check out these two websites because that's where you're going to find all of the videos I've ever done today. UK Bitcoiners, ukbitcoinermaster.com is where you'll find all of them. And Bitcoin Interviews is where you will find all the live interviews I've done. And then finally, if I can get rid of this one and pop this one up, some people do want to drop a small tip. And because I don't have the subs for Super Chat, people have said, how can I leave you a tip? You can do it with tippin.me. at UK Bitcoin Master. That is on the screen. I'm now going to remove it. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Manually. I just saw in the chat Lance has joined us. Welcome to you, Lance. Welcome, Wilco Delamar. I hope you can all hear me. I've got this mic and I'm finding that it is, I think it might be called omnidirectional, whatever it is. If I move forward, you can't hear me. If I tilt my head down, people are saying they can't hear me. So I'm hoping you can hear me. Normally, my lovely wife gives me a sound check, but she's probably doing other things right now. Not really. She's actually right behind me, hiding down behind this breakfast area on the floor, listening to the channel, moderating it, and doing what lovely wives always do. So Elaine, thank you for doing that for us. Happy holidays, Brian. Thank you, Wilco. We've had horrendous weather, to be truthful. It just hasn't stopped raining. We've had high winds. My lovely wife has been out and walking along the beach, which is just over my shoulder. Whoops, here. If you look past through that car there, that little bit of headland is just a load of gravel. If you go over the gravel, you drop down and you're on the beach. So tomorrow's looking a bit better. Wednesday's looking better. So with a bit of luck, we'll be wrapped up warm and we'll be walking along the beach and taking all in the sea air. So, yeah, that's not the show. That's a little bit of beyond UK Bitcoin Master live show. Sorry, Adam, for nicking your phrase. But we are on vacation, on holiday. We're just recharging our batteries, really, chilling out a little bit. So there you go. All that's done. Let me get over to the desktop and let's see what we've got going on with these crazy crypto markets, if this doesn't let me down. Okay, have a look at this chart, people. We've had two dramatic events over on the left. If you don't understand charts, and I don't, but what I know is if you look over on the left, there were two massive candles downwards, which was when the news broke that BitMex, their CEO or whatever you call him, or they'd been impounded, or they were looking for them, and the SEC had charged them, or whatever it was. I might have said that wrong. I might have butchered it, but basically some negative BitMex news. One of the largest supposedly crypto exchanges out there goes and gets raided and charged with fraud, etc., etc. Wallop, down goes the price. Then it starts to recover a little bit, and then look at that massive red candle so far in from the left, and all of a sudden the news breaks that Donald Trump gets the virus, and bang, down it goes again. Now, why am I labouring this point? Because if I remember correctly, let me get back over to the desktop. Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. This is weird because I even brought a second monitor with me and it's over there and the camera's over there, and then I've got my laptop down here and it's like, God dear. Right, so the point I wanted to make here, even when I got into Bitcoin in 2017, had this sort of thing happened, those two events in quick succession, in my opinion, that would have dumped the market big time and everybody would have been freaking out, selling out, which would have dumped the price down even more. But here's the thing. Both these things happen and the price blips down, but is still holding steady. I think we had a little bit of a pump, haven't we? If I go back over here, what are we at? 10,735. It's a pretty decent recovery, isn't it? So, these markets, they're always going to be influenced by events that happen like this, but it's the fact that it's barely a blip on the landscape. If you zoom out and look at what happened, and if you look at where Bitcoin will be in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, whatever, this will just look like a tiny blip on the roadmap. It's nothing. And the great thing is, here we are in 2020, we're just, look at that steady climb again. An incredibly steady climb. So even with events like this going on, Bitcoin price remains stable and it will recover quickly and move forward. That's what I wanted to say on that. So nobody should freak out when there's a dump downwards, because I'm telling you it'll recover. What did I do? What did my lovely wife behind me do? We bought some Bitcoin on sale. We dollar cost averaged in at the lower price, and you should be focusing on doing on that sort of thing too. What else have we got? An article from CoinDesk. Here in the UK, we've got a scenario now where Coinbase are openly saying that, you know, if you draw more than 5,000 British pounds from your crypto, if you take that profit, if you take those gains, we are giving all your details straight over to Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. Now, so what, as far as I'm concerned? Here's the thing, people. In my opinion only, you can try every trick in the book to try and evade tax, avoid tax, etc. But if you don't want to go moving to other countries because they're crypto friendly, and then down the road they decide to change those rules and not be crypto friendly anymore, if you want to live and, like I do, or you want to be around your family, your grandchildren, you know, your elderly aging parents like Elaine's got, I don't want to go and live in another country. I want to live in the UK. I want a holiday home back in the sunshine like we had a few years ago, but I don't want to leave the UK. Okay, so what does that mean I've got to do? It means I'm going to pay my taxes. But does it mean that I'm not going to delve in and look at how I can minimise those taxes? Particularly here in the UK. If you're in the UK watching this, I can tell you the research from Hmrc tells you that if you draw 37,500 British pounds a year, you are going to pay 10% capital gains on that above £12,300. So you are only going to pay 10% on that difference between 12.5 and 12.3 and 37.5. 10%. That is pretty decent. If you want to go and draw more than that, then the remainder above that is 50%. Sorry, it's 20%. 20% capital gains. So the one trick I've learned is you need to ensure that some of your Bitcoin are in your spouse's name, and then you can both draw 37,500 each, not pay tax on the first 12.3 each, and then only pay 10% on your remainder. So am I worried about paying 10% capital gains? Not in a million. That against leaving my home where I was born in, no, I'll pay the 10%. And if I want to draw more, we'll pay the 20% on the top of that. So it doesn't matter what they do. Coinbase are centralised. They are going to comply because they won't want governments, Inland Revenue, Hmrc, whatever it is, closing them down. So I think people just get this, just accept it and move on. Just know how to set your taxes up so you pay as little as possible. But, you know, I heard that Denmark supposedly was a great place to live because they were crypto friendly. Well, now apparently they're not. They're looking to change it to it's 45% tax and now maybe 50%, I think I read somewhere. Don't quote me on it, but I remember seeing that. So you may go through the hoops of moving to another country. I like the idea of Portugal. We've been to Portugal, beautiful country. Another moment, they're very crypto friendly there. No tax on crypto gains. But what's the point of going through all of that? And then you move there and then they decide they're changing the law because there's some revenue they can pull from this new industry. So for me, you do whatever you want to do. I'm staying where I am, but I'm going to have a holiday home in the sun that we can jump on a plane and go to any time we like and any time we choose. So Coinbase can do that. Doesn't bother me what they do. Okay, bullish for Bitcoin. A major Tesla investor has predicted that Bitcoin will be worth more than 1 trillion in under 10 years. Hey, listen, 1 trillion market cap of Bitcoin is 5x what it is now. Okay, which will make one Bitcoin 50k, okay, from 10k. I don't know, no predictions, just how I feel. I feel that we'll do that by the end of this next bull run and some. That's only what I feel. That's not a prediction. I need to say that again. But you know, when you see articles like this, they're very, very bullish for Bitcoin, aren't they? Yeah. Here's the one, I should have put that before when I was talking about the countries you can go to and not pay tax. But, you know, I could spin down and have a look at what these are. You know, number one, Belarus. What else have we got? Germany apparently is very, very crypto friendly. We've got Hong Kong. We've got Malaysia. We've got Malta. Yeah, Malta. I'd give Malta a go. Portugal. Singapore. We've got Slovenia. And finally, we've got Switzerland. And as you would expect, you know, Switzerland with their offshore accounts, etc. I always thought they would be crypto friendly. The point again is this is fluid. This is liquid. What might be today might not be in the future. So you've always got to keep that in mind. Looking at my second and third phones down here running, am I right in saying at the moment that this thing is working off my cell signal? If it is, way to go for mobile phone signals on 4G. Michael Webber, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us. Towers Comics, hi from Canada. Welcome. Great to have you on the UK Bitcoin Master live show. Again, if you've joined us and you want to shout out and I've missed you, just type in UK Bitcoin Master and I will happily give you a shout out live on the show. But welcome to you guys that have just joined us. So keep in mind these taxes, these nation states, they can change those rules. I'm not saying they're going to, but why go through all that hassle and then they change the rules and then you're going to pay your taxes? For me, I'm going to pay my taxes, but I'm going to keep an eye on how I minimize those taxes. And finally, Bitcoin gets a new buyer, predicts Bitcoin to become a must-have asset in every investor's portfolio in 5 years. What is this referring to? Let's have a wee look, because I'm going to run a quick clip of a video. There we go. Mr. Godfrey Bloom. If you're a regular on my show, you will know he was a former UKIP member of European Parliament. And I've shown a couple of videos recently where he's jumped up and down, shouting how the bankers are all fraud and corrupt and the banking system's broke. And all of a sudden, he's just got himself into Bitcoin. So before I talk about that, let's have a really quick look at Godfrey in action.
It's because politicians consistently spend more money than they raise in taxation, more money than they can possibly raise in taxation, most of which, in point of fact, they actually waste. The reason we're talking about countries which are broke, and they are broke, is because their ridiculous, ineffective, ignorant politicians consistently spend more money than they can raise.
Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that absolutely fantastic? I love that. And if we go back over to the desktop again, I think I can do it on here. Yeah, there we go. Former UKIP politician, the UK Independence Party, Godfrey Bloom, took to Twitter to share that he made his first Bitcoin purchase this week. Awesome. I make my first purchases of Bitcoin this week. Gold, silver, I have plenty. But he's now in Bitcoin. He put a tweet out there that everybody's replying to. Teach me about Bitcoin. There's another boomer who's seen this. He's got influence being a former member of parliament. And Godfrey, way to go. You know, there's no way I was going to reply and say, hey, I'll teach you about Bitcoin when you got the likes of Stefan Livera and those people that are so well versed, so well qualified, reaching out and saying, hey, listen, I'll help you. But the baseline is Mr. Godfrey Bloom, way to go, my man. A Brit, another Brit, an OG Brit, a boomer Brit at that, has got himself into Bitcoin. Absolutely superb. So stick with me, really quick interlude. I want to give a shout out for Dan at justlearnbitcoin.com. If you're new to crypto and Bitcoin, check out justlearnbitcoin.com for anything to do with Bitcoin. Wallet setup and backup, storage solutions, end-of-life planning. They've got all sorts of consulting packages over there. Everything you could imagine, questions about mining. Some people are new and they don't know what they're doing and they send their coins to the wrong chain. There might be a way to get them back. They've got some cracking bracelets. I'm wearing my Bitcoin bracelet now. You can see some of them there. Some of them have got up to 25% off. Again, like any good site, they've got their merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, flannels, stickies, they've got everything over there. But whilst you're over at justlearnbitcoin.com, can I encourage you to head back inside the homepage and find this here. Please help return 14.2 Bitcoin to Phil and his family. Now, if you look at Phil's family story, which I put up first this time, I'm just going to scroll up. I've got a Mac with a trackpad. One flick and I'm at the bottom. It is that easy to read that story. And I don't want to shame anyone, but shame on you if you won't take just 5 minutes or less to read about this wonderful human being. 16 years a man of the cloth. Him and his wife have taken in children, disadvantaged children, adopted them and brought them up as their own. He was in the American military at the time of the Vietnam War. So please read his story. And also what we've got here is the transaction ID of the hacker that stole Phil's Bitcoin. So I can scroll to the bottom, and Phil very kindly has given us every single transaction as he built his Bitcoin, right to the top of this narrow one where it clearly shows second line down 14.2 Bitcoin, top line red minus 14.2, and on the right 0 Bitcoin. The question I've got for all of you is, how would you feel if you had 14 Bitcoin at today's 10k prices, 140 grand, and you know that when that 10x's, that would make you a millionaire and look after your family for the rest of their days, and one day you woke up and plugged your hardware device in? You should have it on a hardware device. I'd say Trezor every time, and it said 0. I'm telling you, I've plugged my Trezor in, or I've gone onto Electrum, sat behind my full node on my node, and while it's populating, it's shown a 0 balance, and I've had that heart-stopping moment. So, you know, the heart-stopping moment always ends where all of a sudden it starts to populate and you can see your BTC. But imagine all of a sudden knowing, without a doubt, your Bitcoin has been hacked and gone. How are you going to feel? Phil has lived. We were chatting with Phil yesterday. We're friends with Phil. We chatted for over an hour on Skype. He's in the chat with us now, by the way. And, you know, he's a lovely, lovely man. So not only have we got a new Bitcoin buddy, we've got a new friend in this world who we class as a real friend. And all of a sudden he's sick to the pit of his stomach for 2 years. All you need to do on any of these pages, people, is simply click the link at the bottom. It'll take you here to Tallycoin, and you can make a donation from 50 cents upwards. You can even leave a message. Zazaz, who's in the chat with us, was the one that left the last message back on the 23rd of August. Here we are going into mid-October, and there's been no more donations for all that time, which gobsmacks me when the likes of Peter Schiff tweets something out about his son, and in a heartbeat his son's got 1 Bitcoin. And it churns my stomach up. So I'm on a mission, and if anybody wants to leave my channel and not follow me, because I plug this cause relentlessly twice a week for a really lovely man that deserves some help, then leave the channel. It's as simple as that. Because how would you feel? You would want the community to come out in support of getting you even 1 Bitcoin back. And currently, look what we've got back in a year and a month that I've been behind Phil's campaign, Phil's cause. So please take the time and just make a tiny donation. If you don't want to take it from your Trezor or your Ledger or whatever, go on to wherever you buy it, buy $20 worth, 10, 50, whatever you can afford, and then instead of moving it to your Trezor, move it straight to Phil's address and give him that tiny donation. And if you want to leave him a message saying who you are, then you can. If you want to remain anonymous, you can. So thanks for that, peeps. Let's get back to some great tweets I found. Heidi Blockchain Chick. Now, I know she has an altcoin show as well, but, you know, she comes out with some really sensible stuff. Beware of traders that are wildly bullish one day and then bearish the next. These people are completely toxic in this space and are driven by pure emotion. You know who they are. Click unfollow. What a great bit of advice, because you try trading in this space, you're going to get wrecked, people. We've had some of the best traders out there, many years on Wall Street, openly put their hands up and say, Bitcoin's a different animal. I got wrecked and I'm not prepared to lose it anymore. Just simply buy, get it off that exchange onto your Trezor, in my opinion, and then do nothing. And this is what people find the hardest to do nothing. They feel they need to be doing something. You know, I don't ever plug my Trezor in now. I've got an ex-pub password I use now, sat behind Electrum, that allows me to check my balance, check it's there, without even plugging my Trezor in and touching the internet. Okay, so, you know, very good tweet here from Heidi, I think. The Parman Hoddle, Armin the Parman, he keeps changing the name. Tokenize Bitcoin on Ethereum all you want. But if you don't have access to the private keys, you don't have the Bitcoin. You have a promise that the person with the keys who sold you a token is keeping your Bitcoin safe and will give it to you if you ask nicely. Not for me, people. I don't care what the potential gains are. I am not handing over control of my keys to anyone promising me 6% returns, 12% returns. I hold the keys to my Bitcoin. Nobody else is getting hold of them. Yeah, Adam, we're in motion here, man. Most definitely. Friar Haas, Haas McCook. I've had Haas. I've interviewed Haas. BitcoinInterviews.com. You can see my interview with Friar Haas, who now has the David Beckham logo there by the look of it. Reality is, if Bitcoin price was 200k plus, the CFTC wouldn't have touched BitMex, i.e. too big to fail, just like the banks. Lesson for BitMex: don't encourage relentless shorting of the corn, I think that should be coin, at 100x to suppress the price. A weak Bitcoin works against you. Really good. If you don't understand it, you won't know where he's coming from. But a really, really good tweet. Zaza, sorry, Zaza, I can't read what you're saying. If that was for me, type in UK Bitcoin Master. You're probably chatting in the chat. Lena, excuse me, Sishay, sorry if I butchered that. How many people were arrested when it was revealed last week that banks helped launder 2 trillions? In reference to the BitMex scenario again. No, the banks commit fraud everywhere. 2 shows ago, I talked about Jamie Dimon during his tenure at JP Morgan as their CEO. I think they've had 920 billion of court cases against them, almost $1 trillion, and yet they get a slap on the wrist and then they go and do it all again. You know, so keep in mind these banks are corrupt. They don't want the 95% of regular ordinary people to get wealthy and take control away from them. But the baseline is this is going on 2 trillion and nothing happens to them. Makes me feel sick to the pit of my stomach. And you know what? Before I got into Bitcoin 3 years and 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I didn't know any of this. This is what you learn when you go down the rabbit hole. This is what ends up leaving a bad taste in your mouth. You know, the way these people rip us all off and we allow them to do it. It is now time, in my opinion, to take that personal responsibility for your personal sovereignty into your own hands. What does that mean? Take your money out of banks, put it into Bitcoin. No financial advice, just me sounding off. Put it into Bitcoin, control your own private keys, like your life and your family's lives and your family's financial futures completely depend on that. Why? Because they do depend on that. If you don't want to be in the thick of what is coming, which is not looking good. Every single day on our news here in the UK, JC Botha, welcome. Every single day we hear of another company that's now closing its doors, 5,000 people being laid off. One of our major cinema chains, movie cinema chains here, has now said it's not viable to continue opening their doors. So they're closing down. I think they're not closing for good. They're going to trial it for maybe 6 months or whatever it might be. I can't quite remember what Elaine told me, my lovely wife. But the point is, I think there's 5,000 or 6,000 people now are going to lose an income. So for every day that we personally move forward and this pandemic and everything that's going on doesn't impact us, we are grateful. And you should be too, because people are losing their jobs everywhere. If you know anything about Bitcoin, as Bitcoin Meister says, be in motion, reach out, write something, tweet it out, and then see if one of the magazines would pick you up. They are looking for people that, if you know how to send Bitcoin from one address to another safely and securely, you are ahead of 99% of the world, because most of them simply don't know how to do it. I've got people I know that have got Bitcoin that they've never moved it. They won't know how, and they're too scared to. So if you can do that fluently and confidently, and the only way to do that is to buy a little bit and then move it off of your chosen exchange onto your hardware device, and then play around with maybe wallet of Satoshi Lightning wallet and put a 10 quid and $10 in there and move it around and get familiar with it. Whereas if you lose it, you only lose a little bit. All of a sudden, you become well versed in it. So if you're well versed in it already, way to go. You are ahead of the masses for sure. Okay, so Midas Mulligan, biggest crypto exchange brackets in the world, gets indicted by the SEC. Bitcoin falls 3%. That should be, I guess, up near the front of the show, but nevertheless, the point is, not only BitMex, then Trump, the president of the US, getting COVID, the markets dump for a bit, they recover, and it falls 3%. This thing, the Bitcoin machine, is marching on regardless. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you're going to know that you need to be down that Bitcoin rabbit hole. Okay, my quote to pull it all together. You know by now, if you're a regular, that I love quotes. Stop calling it a dream. It's time to call it a plan. And I've said this a million times. We all dream as we go through our life of having a lovely home, maybe not Bitcoin Meister, a lovely home and maybe a nice car and money in the bank and lovely holidays. And if that's the way you want to go, privately educate your children. But, we dream. We all have dreams. Most people never make a dream a reality. The way you make the dream of what Bitcoin could do for you and your family a reality is start calling it a plan. A strategy. How many times, if you're a regular, have you heard me say, what is your strategy? Depending on what you want from Bitcoin, what you need Bitcoin to be to give you a good life, okay? Your age comes into it as well. I'm 61. If you're 31, 21, 41, you could literally buy and hold Bitcoin, dollar cost average, every payday for 20 years, sit on it, do nothing. And oh my goodness, if you had a magic ball to see what that would do for you and your family in 2 decades' time, my goodness. For me, I'm balancing out my age and the Bitcoin that we've got and what that might realize in a shorter time frame. Because what I don't want to do, and there's a little bit of selfishness here, is I don't want to build my Bitcoin, die, leave it to my children, and they get all the trappings and the enjoyment of the wealth or whatever it brings. No, I'm going to be mercenary. I want to have a little bit of that, and I want to have a little bit of that while I'm young enough to enjoy that, if that makes sense. So, what is your plan? What is your strategy? Because that is so important that you don't just buy and hope. So people, we're doing okay. The light is dropping slightly. Sorry, I've got the lights on in here in the mobile home, the trailer, whatever you Americans call it. Hopefully you can see out through the blinds behind, over in the distance, that little ridge. If you've joined us late, just over that ridge of stones is the beach. So weather permitting tomorrow, Wednesday, a bit of Thursday, because I've got my Thursday show, and Friday we'll be hopefully enjoying walking along the beach with a with a coat on. It's pretty cold here. So I hope you enjoyed the on location show. Don't panic, just hodl people. That's the name of the game. I hope we got through the show okay without any latency, without any lag, because I've done this all from my mobile phone, which I'm absolutely gobsmacked about. So people, that is your UK Bitcoin Master live show for today. I will be back on Thursday, 6 p.m. UK time, for my second show of the week. So join me for that. Do like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, bash the bell button so you get notified when I go live. Tweet it out. I'd appreciate that. And my advice, if you're new to this channel, both Bitcoin Meister and myself have had our channels taken down by YouTube, and it was an absolute nightmare to get them back. Okay, so I've got a backup channel called UK Bitcoiner. Head over there, find it, subscribe. You won't get bombarded with anything because I'm not posting anything on there right now. But if this channel for any reason goes down again, in a heartbeat, I can switch over my stream key and I will go live with continuity on the UK Bitcoiner channel until this one gets brought back up, or if it doesn't get brought back up, I'll carry on that one. On top of that, I'm now going to put up my social media links. So do go and follow me on Library, on BitChute, on DTube. I'm on all of those. So, you know, let's get this message out there, people. That is me done. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the evening with my lovely wife. Probably have, as Phil Volman says, a glass of, what did he say? Antioxidants. Apparently in red wine. I'll catch you all on Thursday. Have a great week, everyone. I'm Brian, the UK Bitcoin Master, signing off for now. Strong Bitcoin hand. I'm going to leave you with my social media. See you Thursday. Cheerio.